If you have a mortgage, you're already using leverage. You have been for years. Buy $1 million home with a 10% or $100,000 deposit, and you control $1 million property for just a $100,000 contribution. The bank calls it your deposit, your equity. What it really is, if you think about it, is leverage. Trading works on the same idea. It just moves faster. The rules about topping it up are also a lot tighter. So today, what leverage actually is, what margin actually is, and how both work in futures and CFD contracts. And the two numbers your broker is really watching. Last episode, you learned that you were not buying the asset itself. You were buying a derivative. Today, the feature that sits on top of that contract. I'm Christian, 15 years across NAB and Westpac, full-time trader and financial fundamentals advocate. Welcome back to Capital Clarity with Christian. Two words, and everything else follows from them. Leverage and margin. Leverage is using a small amount of your own money to control a much bigger position size. The second word though is margin. Margin, it's not a fee, it's a deposit, a contribution. It's your money put aside and held while the trade is open. Your house deposit is the bank's margin. It's the difference between what they lent to you and what the property is worth when you bought it. It's still yours, and a broker does almost exactly the same thing. And it runs both ways. If that house drops 10%, your entire deposit is gone, or $100,000 of it, wiped out by a 10% move. That is what leverage does wherever you find it. It does not make your decision any better or any worse. It just simply amplifies the result, the reward and risk in the same proportion. Here's the same trade cut two ways. Say you want to make $1,000 from a 1% price movement. Without leverage, you need $100,000 worth of your very own money sitting in that trade, all tied up. With 30-to-1 leverage, you need about $3,300. Same $1,000 profit for that 1% price move, a fraction of the money tied up. But turn it around. That 1% going the wrong way costs you $1,000 either way. Out of $100,000, you've barely noticed it. Out of $3,300, you've lost nearly a third of your own money. Think about that. Watch this part again if you need to, because it's what it's all based upon. Leverage does not change the trade. It changes how much of your money it takes to make the trade and how much it costs you when it goes wrong. So why does leverage have this reputation in trading and not property? I'll tell you, speed. Your house can take years to move just 10%. An index could do it in a good afternoon. It's a bit like paddling out on a surfboard with an engine attached to it, or being towed onto a wave from a jet ski. The same ocean, the same waves, but you reach the water you could never paddle to. And neither the engine nor the wave slows down if you've misjudged the timing. More reach, less time to think. Now, there are two places you'll need to meet leverage as a retail trader. I'm leaving options out on purpose because buying one involves no margin at all, and selling one is a completely different complex conversation. That will get its own video. Before we go near either product, there are three numbers in a trading account that you need to pay attention to. They are not the same thing, and it's worth being clear on which one's which. For purposes of an example, I'm going to use a $10,000 account for this. It's a round number and easy to follow. So your balance is the cash you have deposited, $10,000. Your margin is the part that your broker has set aside for the movement of the open trade. And this one is worth being precise about. Nothing is ever deducted. No money leaves your account ever. The broker merely sets that money aside and says this is to stay here whilst your trade is open. You cannot take it out. You cannot use it for another trade, but it's still there and it's still yours. Margin is never deducted. It's just reserved. You just cannot spend it whilst the position is open. It's somewhat freezed. Your platform will make it look like it's gone because it shows you a smaller available balance to trade, but it's not gone. It's just spoken for. And your equity is what the account would be worth if you closed the trade right this very instant. Your balance is what you put in. Your equity is what you would walk away with if you closed everything this second. The broker is watching your equity. So your balance can look perfectly healthy while your equity is heading somewhere else. The broker is not watching your balance. Balance, margin, equity. Those three work the same way in both products. Everything from here does not. Let's start with futures because it's the easiest one to see. With futures, you do not choose how big your trade is. The exchange has already decided that for you. Take our own currency in a futures contract. So the Australian dollar futures contract traded in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And one contract is $100,000 represented. Same contract for a hedge fund as it is for you. Now, the Aussie is priced against the US dollar. You will see it quoted something like 70 US cents at the moment. And that's as I filmed this video in August 26. So say the Aussie moves 1 cent to 71. $100,000 times 1 cent is $1,000 in or out of your account P&L. And it moves about half a cent on a quiet day. So $500 of movement can happen without the market doing anything unusual. You cannot trade half a contract. There is no slider. You're in for the full 100,000 or you're not in at all. If $100,000 is too big for your account size, futures does not shrink to fit it. You either need to find a smaller contract or you don't take the trade at all, which is why some smaller contracts or versions exist. It's a tenth of the size of the margin requirement of a big one. For a smaller account, that is your honest answer. One warning, however, that is the Aussie dollar. Every contract is different. Oil is 1,000 barrels represented. Gold is 100 ounces. Each contract has its own margin requirements. Never assume a contract size. Look it up for the exact contract you are trading, and micros do not exist for everything. So how much do you need to hold that contract? The exchange decides that number too, and it gives you two numbers, not one. Initial margin is what you need in order to open the trade in the first place. On the Aussie contract, it's around 2,000 US dollars. Maintenance margin is what you need to keep it open. That one sits a little below. So the level to get in is set a little higher than the level to stay in. That gap is deliberate. It's called breathing room. And where do those numbers come from? The exchange works them out for you based on how much the market has been moving and asks for enough to cover a bad day. In futures, margin is just a measurement. It's the exchange's estimate on the worst day of movement you are likely to have, which also means it changes. Same contract, different margin month to month. So put it together. $2,000 of your money holding a $100,000 position. It's just a contract size setting next to the margin requirement. And on our $10,000 account, that leaves $8,000 still free. You could open up more contracts. Every extra contract takes another $2,000 out of play. That is the trade-off. Margin is small compared to what you can control, which is exactly why it's so easy to take on more risk than you should. Now, the other one, CFDs. This is what most Australian retail traders actually use to trade with. There is no exchange setting a size here. You deal straight with the broker and you can pick your own trade size, down to a fraction of a lot. That flexibility is why CFDs are so popular. It's also why you need the most discipline when using them, because nothing about the product stops you from being too large. What does stop you, however, is our very own regulator's rule. ASIC caps retail CFD leverage at 30 to 1 on the major currency pairs, 20 to 1 on gold and the major indices, and 10 to 1 on all other commodities, 5 to 1 on shares and 2 to 1 on crypto. And here is where CFDs work completely differently to futures. This is the bit that trips most people up, so let me set them apart. With a CFD, nobody is measuring how much the Aussie dollar moves. Your margin is simply the leverage cap, applied to whatever size you choose. 30 to 1 means 1/30th. So a $100,000 trade needs about $3,300 of margin. That is the whole calculation right there. And there is no second number. No maintenance margin handed down by a third-party exchange. What there is instead is a trigger. And this one is worth putting numbers on because it's hard to picture otherwise. If your equity falls below half of your total margin on your open CFD trades, your broker must start closing them one by one. So $10,000 in your account, you open one CFD trade, $100,000 in value on the Aussie, that needs about $3,500 of margin. Half of $3,300 is roughly $1,650. That is your line. If your equity falls to $1,650, the broker starts closing your trades. And remember what equity means, not the cash you put in, what the account is worth right now, which that trade open and running against you. Now, open a second trade, the same size, the margin adds up, $6,600, and the line moves with it. Half of $6,600 is $3,300, measured across both trades together. Not one line for each trade, one line for the whole account's margin. One account, one line, every trade you add moves in. And your broker does not get to decide any of this. The law simply requires it. We go further into what that means next episode. In futures, margin is measured by the exchange. In a CFD, margin is a fixed fraction of your trade, set by the regulator. Same word, two different systems. And those caps are recent. Before March 2021, some brokers here offered 500 to 1. On the same $100,000 trade, your deposit would have been only $200. So, side by side, because this is the part worth remembering. Futures, the exchange sets your size, and the exchange sets your margin. Two numbers, one to get in, one to stay in. Both worked out from how much the market can actually move. CFDs set your size and the regulator sets your margin. One number, a fixed fraction of your trade with a closeout level written into law. Futures, the exchange decides everything. CFDs, you decide the size and your regulator decides the margin. One is measured, one is capped, and neither of them is a fee. Both are still your money. So let's bring it all together. Leverage is using a small amount of your own money to control a much bigger position size. Margin is the deposit that makes it possible. Reserved, not deducted, and still yours the whole time. And whichever product you're in, it comes down to the same shape. Your equity is the number that matters. There is a level clear to get in and a level you need to stay above to stay in. In futures, the exchange sets both of the levels. In a CFD, the regulator sets one and the law sets the other. Your equity is measured against them either way. That is what the numbers are. Next episode, we'll do the maths. How far the market can actually move against you before somebody else is going to step in and close your trade. And where does that mean your stop loss has to go? Next time, what happens when you misjudge the wave? Quick note, none of this is personal financial advice. These are high-risk products. What I'm doing is showing you how the machine works. Speak to a licensed professional before you go anywhere near them. Next episode, your room, your stop, and why almost every retail trader in this country ends up in CFDs rather than futures contracts. It is the half of this that you can actually use. I'm Christian, this is Capital Clarity. If you're enjoying what you're learning here, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.